Retreating just lets a 250-pound brawler run you down using their sheer mass to crush your guard. We have to override that fear response right now. Our goal here is to train your nervous system to handle unexpected strikes by moving directly into the pressure. You've got to maintain your balance and form even when fatigue and adrenaline are completely blinding you.
Okay, let's dive into this because 90% of street attacks start with the exact same move, the looping overhand right, the wild, unrefined haymaker. Now, why is that? Simply because it requires absolutely zero skill, but man, it generates massive, explosive, untrained power. This is where keeping an open, active guard is just far superior to standing there like a static target. By keeping your hands dynamic and your stance ready, you're literally prepping your central nervous system to react to that 90% probability. You aren't guessing what's coming, you already know. And knowing the exact angle of that attack is the absolute key to completely neutralizing their power.
Let's look at the actual physics of the haymaker. To generate that crazy power, the attacker pulls their arm way back, opens their chest up, and swings in a massive sweeping circle. It's exactly like a baseball pitcher winding up for a wild fastball or swinging a heavy sledgehammer on a hinge. They are relying entirely on centrifugal force. But here is the secret, and this is huge. That massive circular motion is their biggest mechanical weakness. The energy transfer takes a lot of time, and the center of their chest is left completely wide open. Quick safety tip for your own training: never ever throw punches with this kind of wild abandonment. It throws your center of gravity completely off and leaves your joints super vulnerable to severe hyperextension. We are going to use that exact mechanical flaw right against them.
So let's compare the physics here. If you just stand static on the center line and try to absorb a 220-pound brawler's sledgehammer swing, your structural integrity is going to fail. Your bone structure in a standard boxing guard, yeah, it might absorb light, fast punches in a ring, but against the sheer kinetic mass of a heavy power punch, it completely crumbles. The bone structure required for blocking power versus blocking speed is totally different. Your forearms simply cannot stop the physics of their entire body weight colliding with you. Your guard will collapse, your own hands will literally smash into your face, and your brain will shut off. You have to maintain an active stance, use proper footwork, and angle your body to exit the direct path of that momentum.
And if static blocking doesn't work, what about evading? Think about these two super common errors: retreating versus ducking. Like we established, retreating completely fails because they just run you down. This is especially dangerous in a confined space, like a narrow hallway or an elevator, where you quickly run out of room, your movement is restricted, and you get trapped hard against a wall. Okay, so what about ducking? Well, ducking blindly might work in a padded ring, but out on the pavement? Dropping your center of gravity and looking at the floor feeds your skull directly into a rising knee or offers your neck right up for a standing guillotine choke. We don't bow down, we don't retreat, we attack the attack. This brings us to our clinical framework. I want you to memorize these 3 steps. 1, the crash. 2, the bone wedge. 3, the palm strike. This is our interception protocol. We are systematically destroying their circular centrifugal power with a straight line. Think of a hockey player perfectly cutting off an opponent. You take the shortest, straightest path to intercept that wide arc. This protocol is designed to rapidly limit their space, completely disrupt their energy transfer, and instantly shift the dynamic of the fight. It requires intense mental discipline and rapid neural reaction, which we are absolutely going to drill into your muscle memory.
Now, what's really interesting about this strategy is the biomechanical approach of the crash. This requires you to fight your own instincts. Your biology is going to scream at you to pull away. You must override that. You step forward, and crucially, you use your footwork to step slightly off the center line, moving directly inside the arc of the punch. By changing your body angle, you completely neutralize their destructive force. You step in right before that swinging arm reaches its top velocity. Safety tip here: proper breathing is absolutely vital. Exhale sharply as you step in. This tightens your core, specifically strengthening your obliques and abdominals for combat stamina, giving you the perfect balance needed to maintain your footing on any uneven surface, while you violently take away their space. I want you to burn this quote into your mind. You target the root of the weapon. Look, human reaction time just isn't fast enough to catch a flying fist in midair like you see in some crazy action movie. You cannot step into the fire with your hands down, and you definitely can't track the fist itself. Instead, you've got to train your visual focus on their shoulder and chest. By improving your neural reaction speed to the dropping of their shoulder, you can intercept the attack right at its source. You jam the weapon where it originates, completely shutting down their ability to generate force before the train even leaves the station.
So the crucial point here is the execution, the bone wedge. As you crash in, you literally take the hardest bone of your forearm and drive it directly into the soft muscle of his attacking bicep. Structurally, bone breaks muscle, period. It's exactly like wedging a hard steel crowbar right into the soft spokes of a spinning bicycle wheel. For this to be truly effective, you need to condition your forearms and deltoids. Basic bodyweight exercises like pull-ups and push-ups are absolutely incredible for increasing the neural control, bone density, and muscular endurance in these specific areas. This ensures your frame acts as an unbreakable, mobile wedge against their attack, keeping you resilient and completely disrupting their strike path.
When you execute that wedge properly, you cause what we call a kinetic chain snap. This is the total structural failure that happens when your grounded skeleton brutally collides with their isolated shoulder muscle. The physical mechanism here is devastating. His arm goes completely numb. The sudden pressure against his center of gravity breaks his posture right backward. You have effectively used his own massive centrifugal force entirely against him. Because he was swinging so incredibly hard, hitting your solid bone wedge causes his own momentum to literally shock his nervous system. His brain is lagging because he just hit a brick wall, his balance is destroyed, and suddenly his chest is wide open. Let's move to step 3 and see how this builds. The palm strike. On the exact same beat that you wedge his bicep, your rear hand fires a linear palm strike right through his jawline or his nose, aiming directly for his center of gravity. You are mercilessly exploiting that split second where his brain is lagging. Notice how we transfer weight here. You push your body weight from your rear foot, transferring it straight through your center, driving the force straight down the line. By stepping in and striking simultaneously, you're literally doubling your destructive force because you are combining your forward momentum with whatever forward momentum he has left. And this perfectly highlights the absolute golden rule of the street. Rigid palm strikes always beat closed fists. Why a palm strike? Because closed fists shatter on hard skulls. Your hand is full of fragile little bones, and if you break them, the fight's over for you. By keeping an open guard and using the thick, dense bone at the base of your palm, you protect your hand from shattering while delivering catastrophic, fight-ending force safely to the brainstem. The mechanics of the palm strike ensure energy transfers directly into the target rather than bouncing back into your fragile knuckles. It's a safer, smarter, and just far more devastating application of physics. Now, strictly speaking, as your coach, you cannot just watch this explainer and expect to survive. You must program your nervous system. You've got to focus on shadow boxing these exact entry angles. Always start with a proper dynamic warm-up to lubricate the shoulder joints and prevent explosive injuries. Let's look at a simple 3-day schedule that works whether you're a beginner or a pro. Day 1, slow motion visualization of the entry angle to build those neural pathways. Day 2, explosive bodyweight reps to build fast twitch muscle response. Day 3, high-intensity shadow boxing for cardiovascular ring stamina, using mental visualization techniques to keep your form incredibly strict, even under heavy fatigue. But remember, recovery is deeply scientific. Use deep tissue massage and active stretching to safely clear lactic acid and reduce post-workout pain. Prioritize high-protein nutrition and 8 solid hours of sleep. That's how you cement this training. Stay disciplined. But I'm going to leave you with this final, truly provocative scenario to think about. What happens if you perfectly execute the crash, you deliver the heavy palm strike, but the attacker is a massive, heavy giant? He doesn't go out, and he suddenly grabs hold of your shirt. You're in a tight space, you have a massive weight disadvantage, and your heart is pounding out of your chest. Panic is your absolute worst enemy here. How do you physically dismantle a larger opponent without relying on muscle, using only precise leverage, body physics, and finding the tricky pathways to completely bypass their guard? Keep practicing your mental focus, trust your training, and stay incredibly sharp until we unpack that entire puzzle in our next explainer.